It's nighttime in the big city. A burly man sells factory second tube socks out of his car's trunk. An abandoned balloon is stuck in a tree. It's Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan.
Welcome to the Theme Time Radio Hour. According to the historian Werner Keller, there are at least 80,000 different versions of the flood story that we know from the Bible. He found them in at least 72 languages. Seems like every culture has their own version of the great flood that washes over the earth. Now here at Theme Time Radio Hour, we don't like to be doomsayers, but when that many people agree on something, maybe there's something to it. But I like to think of myself as a glass half full kind of guy. I don't like to think about all the people that drowned in the Great Flood. I like to think of all the animals Noah saved. So this week, we're going to climb aboard Noah's Ark and take a look around. It's going to be a marvelous musical menagerie as we listen to songs performed by the many members of the animal kingdom. Come on, watch where you step.
Noah, I want you to build an ark. Go out into the world, collect all of the animals in the world by twos, male and female, and put them into the ark. Right. Who is this really?
The word animal was first used in 1398. It's from the Latin word anima, which means breath or soul. There are more species of animals on this planet than you could ever imagine. We're going to start the show off with a song about the king. Jimmy Cliff has a song called King of Kings. On the simplest level, it's about the animals competing to see who's king of the jungle. But in truth, the animals in this song were actually representing the disc jockeys who ran the sound systems in Jamaica. The lion, elephant, and giraffe represent the top sound system runners of the day. Coxsone Dodd, Duke Reed, and Prince Buster. Here's Jimmy Cliff, King of Kings.
The lion says, I am king and I reign. The lion says, I am king in this range. No more kings must be in this backyard. The lion says, I am king and I reign. Elephant says, I am king because I'm strong. The giraffe says, I am king because my neck is long. There's no doubt that you are all wrong. The lion says, I am king because I'm double strong. I'm king of kings and lord of lords in this land. No more back talk from any of you, cause I'm king from the beginning. I was made king. Lion says I am king and I reign.
That was Jimmy Cliff and King of Kings. You know, listening to it, I gotta believe that a giraffe has the most dubious claim upon the crown. I mean, after all, he says that he should be king because his neck is long. That's not up there with being strong or being brave. At best, you can see above a crowd's head. Not exactly a kingly quality. By the way, did you know that giraffes have no vocal cords? And they can go an exceptionally long time without water, but they want to see a menu right away. I love that joke. I think I told it to you before.
In the world about us today, there are about 500,000 species of animals, from the largest four-footed beasts down to the smallest insects.
Cynthia May Carver was born in 1903 in Lamb, Kentucky. She died 77 years later in Sherman Oaks, California. In between, she was known as the beloved performer Cousin Emmy. She played on the Grand Ole Opry radio show and then played along with Frank Moore and his Log Cabin Boys. Frank was the guy who gave her the name Cousin Emmy. She appeared in some movies, including Swing in the Saddle and Under West End Sky. In 1961, the new Lost City Ramblers saw her playing at Disneyland. What the hell were they doing at Disneyland? But they saw her there, and they invited her to appear with them at the Newport Folk Festival. She started appearing on television with Pete Seeger and toured Europe. In 1967, she made an album with the Ramblers. But this is from a bit earlier, 1947, and a song called Groundhog, Cousin Emmy.
Keep gonna whistle and I can dig. I'm gonna get that whistling big groundhog. Run your sis with a great long knife. Run your sis with a great long knife. Use his groundhog all he like. Groundhog. Up the sis with a tickle and a grin. Up the sis with a tickle and a grin. The groundhog breathes all over her chin. Groundhog. Meats in the cupboard and a hide and churn. Meats in the cupboard and a hide and churn. If that ain't groundhog, I'll be darned. Groundhog.
That was Cousin Emmy and Groundhog. Well, y'all know where Bill Murray's gonna be come February 2nd. It's the North American tradition of Groundhog Day. It comes from a German tradition known as Candlemas. And in that, a hedgehog or a badger comes out of a hole and sees its shadow. If he does see a shadow, there'll be at least 6 more weeks of winter. German settlers came to Pennsylvania, and they continued this tradition, using groundhogs, not to be confused with a ground hog, which is a hog that is ground up for eating purposes. The first official Groundhog Day was February 2nd, 1886, in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. To this day, the most famous groundhog prognosticator is Punxsutawney Phil. According to the National Climate Data Center, Phil only has an accuracy of 39%. For most of the year, Phil lives in a climate-controlled home in the Punxsutawney Library. He's brought to work at 7:25 a.m. on Groundhog Day. He's the most famous, but he's not the only one. Other famous predicting groundhogs are Sir Walter Wally of Raleigh, North Carolina, and Staten Island Chuck of New York City.
B is for bear, and especially for the big white polar bears that live near the North Pole. In the zoo, they like to dive into the water, and they have a barrel to play with, and on very hot days, they dive and splash and play all day long. They don't mind the heat at all.
In the Earth Sign portion of our zoo, we come across a song named Grizzly Bear, recorded by a number of people, but I'm going to play it, and it's my choice because it's my show. I'm going to play it by Eric Von Schmidt and Ralph Kahn. Here it is, Grizzly Bear.
I'm gonna tell you a little story about a grizzly bear. Tell you a little story about a grizzly bear. Well, a great big grizzly bear. Well, a great big grizzly bear. Well, my mama was scared of the grizzly bear. My mama was scared of the grizzly bear. So, well, Daddy went a hunting for the
That was Grizzly Bear by Eric and Ralph. And I really don't have much information on grizzly bears, but I do remember that show Grizzly Adams, that Dan Haggerty was a good actor. Whatever happened to him? Dave Bartholomew has a writing credit on this song, but I think the lyrics go back a lot further. I have a postcard with a poem on it, from at least the 30s. But Dave did put a distinctive driving guitar beat behind it. Anything that gets this type of thought across, I'm all in favor of. Here's Dave Bartholomew from 1957 with A Tale of Morality and Monkey Business. The monkey speaks his mind.
Yeah. The monkey speaks his mind. Now, 3 monkeys sat in a coconut tree discussing things as they are said to be. Said one to the other. Now listen, you two. There's a certain rumor that can't be true. That man descended from our noble race. The very idea is a big disgrace. No monkey ever deserted his wife, starved her baby, and ruined her life. Yeah. The monkey speaks his mind. And you never known a mother monk to leave the babies with others to bone, or pass them on from one to another till they scarcely knew who was their mother. Yeah. The monkey speaks his mind. And another thing you will never see, a monkey build a fence around a coconut tree and let other coconuts go to waste, forbidding all other monkeys to come and taste. Why, if I put a fence around this tree, salvation would force you to steal from me. Yeah. The monkey speaks his mind. Here's another thing a monkey won't do. Go out at night and get on a stew, or use a gun or club or knife to take another monkey's life. Yes, man descended the weightless bum, but brothers, from us he did not come. Yeah, the monkey speaks his mind.
That was Dave Bartholomew. The monkey sits in a coconut tree and wonders if it can be true that man is descended from his noble race. The monkey speaks his mind. A song they'll be singing 500 years from now. Maybe we shouldn't be listening to the Bonbo monkey, though. It's one of the largest mammals to be found by science. The species is female-centered, and they substitute sex for aggression. They have every partner combination, boy-girl, boy-boy, girl-girl, and they have a lot more sex than other primates, and not just for reproduction. They enjoy doing it. I mean, they're the only ones, besides man, that uses the missionary position. The bonobo shares more than 98% of our genetic profile. They're as close to human as say a fox is to a dog. The bonobo females, they run society. Violence is not allowed. Bonobos engage in group sex to resolve conflicts. I kind of miss the 60s. Here's a rockabilly rave-up, a version of a song that Bill Carlisle did, along with the Carlisles. Joe D. Johnson is singing it, and he's a rattlesnaking daddy.
I'm a rattlesnaking daddy and I rattle the river of Flee. I'm a rattlesnaking daddy and I rattle the river of Flee. And when you hear me rattle, you sure better leave me be. We'll rattle down in Georgia, rattle down in New Orleans. We'll rattle down in Georgia, rattle down in New Orleans. Just a diamondback rattler, feeling so doggone mean. I'm a rattlesnaking daddy and I rattle the river of Flee. I'm a rattlesnaking daddy and I rattle the river of Flee. And when you hear me rattle, sure better leave me be. Well, I rattled last night, all the night before. I woke up this morning, wanna rattle some more. I'm a rattlesnaking daddy from Tennessee. Well, I'm a rattlesnake daddy, sure better leave me be.
That was Rattlesnaking Daddy by Joe G. Johnson. Here on Theme Time Radio Hour, it's our Critter Call.
Did anyone ever stop to figure out just how many fish there are in the sea? Well, there are more than have ever been caught anyway. It's sure we don't eat all the fish in the sea because fish eat fish. As the old poem says, great fish on little fishes feed, and these in turn on those of lesser bulk.
The Marvelettes weren't the most famous group at Motown, but they sure have their fans. They were the first group the late Norman Whitfield worked with when he came to Motown. And on this record, he was even able to convince Eddie Holland to help write the words to this song. Came out in October 1964, and it was a top 10 R&B hit. Here are the Marvelettes, and Too Many Fish in the Sea.
Look here, girls. Take this advice and remember always in life. Into each heart, some tears must fall. Though you love and lose, you must stand tall. 'Cause we all got to cry sometime. I said sigh sometime. Pull yourself together. No use crying forever. Because I said there's sure
Well, that's too many fish in the sea. Perhaps there's one fish, two fish, redfish, bluefish. There might be goldfish, catfish, cod, salmon, trout, clownfish, minnows, stingrays, groupers, marlin, sardines, mackerels, and anchovies. There's plenty of fish, but who are we to say how many is too many? You're listening to the Noah's Ark edition of Theme Time Radio Hour. Right now, I gotta play a song for you written by Bob Nolan. It's not totally politically correct, but we must remember it was a different time. That time was the early 30s, and Bob was a songwriter and singer for a group called the Sons of the Pioneers. They have a little song about branding time. Hear the Sons of the Pioneers, hold that critter down.
It's roundup time and the weather's fine. The strays must all be branded. The irons fry and the dogies cry, but the old man has commanded. So all day long I sing this song. Hold that critter down. Hold him down. Burn his hide. There's extra pay for every day. So hold that critter down. Burn his hide. Hold him down. When the sun goes down and the moon comes round to the old cook shack we're hidden, we'll throw the pie in the chink cook's eye and tie him up in his bedding. Then we'll make him run to the tune of the gun, so hold that critter down. Hold him down, burn his hide. There's extra pay for every day, so hold that critter down. Burn his hide, hold him down. Yodel-daddy-dee-do, ah-dee-doo-da-doo. I'll head for town when the boss comes round with the back pay that he owes me. Get drunk as sin with my old pal Jim and land where the bouncer throws me. Then I'll bet him 10 he can't do it again, so hold that critter down. Hold him down, burn his hide. There's extra pay for every day, so hold that critter down. Burn his hide, hold him down. Back next day with 10 minutes pay left from the check that I drew. The boss said, son, you're a son of a gun, but I wish that I was like you. So I'll burn hair for next month's tear and hold that critter down. Hold him down, burn his hide. There's extra pay for every day, so hold that critter down. Burn his hide, hold him down. Yo-do-daddy-dee-do, ah-dee-doo-doo. Daddy-dee-do, ah-dee-doo-doo.
That was the Sons of the Pioneers, hold that critter down, getting the cattle ready for a cattle trail. They were very important to the early economy of the Central Plains area of early Texas. Back then, cattle were easier to raise than they were to sell. You had to get them from where they eat to where they could be eaten. Trail driving was an economical way to do it. As few as a dozen men, with a small amount of supplies and equipment, could deliver a herd of 2,000 or more animals from Texas to the railheads in Kansas. There were several major cattle trails to the north, each of them with branches in Texas. The best known of the group was the Chisholm Trail, which opened in 1867 and was named for the man who opened it, Jesse Chisholm, a Cherokee Indian trader. In 1866, Charles Goodnight and Oliver Leving blazed the trail west to reach the New Mexico-Colorado market. They called it the Goodnight-Leving Trail. Charles Goodnight invented the chuck wagon about this time, using an Army surplus wagon to carry food and supplies. Some of the major ranches down Texas Way, including the Slaughter Ranch, the Clayton Ranch, the Borden Ranch, that was over in Gaza County, the Halsell Ranch, the Rafter T Ranch, that was near Lubbock. Buddy Hollymoney worked there one summer. There's the 6666 Ranch and the J.A. Ranch down in Crosby County. Hard, honest work.
What does E stand for? Why, E is for these playful young African elephants. Let's listen to them.
The famous elephant was supposed to appear on the cover of Time magazine. But Pearl Harbor happened, and Dumbo got knocked off the front cover and was replaced by a photo of Japanese General Yamamoto. Dumbo is one of the best remembered animated films that Walt Disney put out. Bill Tetler was responsible for much of the animation, and Dumbo's facial features were based on his son Peter. It was one of those Disney cartoons that could bring a tear to your eye. Everyone remembers the scene in which Dumbo's mother holds her young son's trunk to the iron bars of the cage and sings the song Baby Mine. Bonnie Raitt covered that song, and it sounds like she's singing to the man she loves. Give a listen.
Baby mine, don't you cry. Baby mine, dry your eyes. Rest your head close to my heart, never to part, baby of mine. Little one, when you play, don't you mind what they say? Let those eyes sparkle and shine, never a tear, baby of mine.
Was Bonnie Raitt and Baby Mine from Dumbo. It sounds like she's singing it to the man she loves, but no, she's singing to an elephant. Another famous elephant was named Topsy. Topsy was publicly executed. Let me explain what happened. Thomas Edison was in a battle with Nikola Tesla. This is in the 1890s. Tesla was a proponent of alternating current, and Edison had already established direct current as the standard for electricity distribution. There was a lot of money riding on this. Whoever could prove they had the safer form of electricity was in for quite a windfall. Edison was very aggressive, trying to discredit Tesla's alternating current. He would electrocute animals in public using alternating current. The Luna Park Zoo at Coney Island ran a news story about Topsy, who was a cranky female elephant who had killed 3 handlers in 3 years. They were going to put Topsy down. Edison offered to do it. He was going to have Topsy ride the lightning. Condemned men in American prisons had been executed via electricity since 1890, but this was a much bigger job, and Edison wanted to make sure Topsy fell. He fed her cyanide-laced carrots. Moments before, a 6,600-volt alternating current charge slammed her body. 1,500 people witnessed it, and there's even a film that Edison released a year later as electrocuting the elephant. But in the end, All of Edison's attempts to discredit Tesla are in vain. Direct current fell out of favor, and alternating current demonstrated its superiority and became the standard.
When you're thinking of buying a pet, when you need pet food or supplies, your best stop is
Theme Time Radio Hour,
where you get the best pet buys.
Let's check out the phones. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Tempest Fox, and I'm calling from Kangaroo, Australia.
You don't have much of an accent.
I'm actually working in a club down here.
What kind of club?
It's a club.
All right. Sorry I asked. What can I do for you?
Well, a little while ago, I heard you talking about Dan Haggerty.
Yeah, what's he up to nowadays?
Well, let me tell you, I know. He was a bodybuilder. Maybe you saw him in Muscle Beach Party. He's in that Elvis Presley movie, Girl Happy. One of the 25 people Elvis beat up.
Yeah, I knew all that.
Did you know he was the mechanic in Easy Rider?
Yeah.
You know all about the show.
You mean Grizzly Adams?
Yeah, Grizzly Adams.
I know about Grizzly Adams.
And you know about all the movies he made afterwards.
Which ones?
The Capture of Grizzly Adams. Grizzly Adams goes north. Grizzly Adams at the North Pole. From here to eternity with Grizzly Adams. And Take It Easy, Grizzly.
I haven't seen all of those, but I'll be Netflixing them. Is that all you know about him?
Oh, dear God, no. He actually lives next door to me.
He lives next door to you?
Yeah. I mean, he's a nice guy, too. We share the same gardener. He's a health food nut now. Still rides his motorcycle. And he's got one of those flags in California. The ones with the bear on them, hanging off the front of his house. I mean, he's watching my house while I'm down here in Australia.
Well, that's great. You gotta tell him I said hello.
Will do, Bob.
Thanks for calling.
Hold on, Bob. You're doing a show about animals this week, right?
Yeah, I am.
Could you play one for me?
Sure, what would you like to hear?
I'd like to hear I Am the Walrus by The Who.
That's not by The Who.
I'm pretty sure it's by The Who.
No, Tempest is by The Beatles.
The Beatles? Are you sure?
100% positive.
Oh, you must be right then. All those English bands sound the same to me. Can you play it for me?
I'm not sure we got it here.
Well, how about a song about kangaroos then?
Well, that I can do. Thanks for calling, Tempest.
Thanks for talking to me, Bob. If you're ever down in Australia, look me up.
Maybe I will. See you later. Here's Ralph Harris and Timey Kangaroo Down Sport for Tempest dancing down in Australia.
There's an old Australian stockman lying, dying, and he gets himself up on one elbow and he turns to his mates who are gathered round and he says, "Watch me wallabies feed, mate, watch me wallabies feed. They're a dangerous breed, mate, so watch me wallabies feed." All together now, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Keep me cockatoo cool, curl, keep me cockatoo cool. Don't go acting the fool, curl, just keep me cockatoo cool. All together now, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Take me koala back, Jack, take me koala back. He lives somewhere out on the track, Mac, so take me koala back. All together now, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Let me abbas go loose, Lou, let me abbas go loose. They're of no further use, Lou, so let me abbas go loose. All together now, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Mind me platypus duck, Bill, mind me platypus duck. Oh, don't let him go running amok, Bill, just mind me platypus duck. All together now, tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Tie me kangaroo down, sport, tie me kangaroo down. Play a didgeridoo, Blue, play a didgeridoo. Oh, like, keep playing till I shoot through, Blue. Play your didgeridoo. All together now. Tie me kangaroo down, Spot. Tie me kangaroo down. Tie me kangaroo down, Spot. Tie me kangaroo down. Tan me hide when I'm dead, Fred. Tan me hide when I'm dead. So he tanned his hide when he died, Clyde, and that's it hanging on the shed. All together now. Tie me kangaroo down, Spot. Tie me kangaroo down. Tie me kangaroo down, Spot. Tie me kangaroo down.
Well, that was Tie Me Kangaroo Down, Sport by Ralph Harris. He's not just a singer, he's also written best-selling books, and his paintings have been exhibited in the National Gallery. He's the first artist to be commissioned by the Royal Australian Mint for designing the new commemorative $1 silver kangaroo coin. If you want to see a documentary about him, the BBC made one called A Lifetime in Paint. Some of the words in the song might be a little mysterious to you. There's wallabies. They're members of the kangaroo family. There's cockatoos. You know about them. They're big birds. The platypus also was mentioned in the song. A fascinating animal. Has a flat streamlined body. It has an elongated muzzle shaped like a bill of a duck, covered in leathery skin, webbed feet, and a tail like that of a beaver. Now get this. It also has a spur in its hind leg that could be used to inject venom into another creature. It's like James Bond. That is why they call James Bond the platypus of espionage. The platypus also has an electric bill. I don't mean an electric bill you have to pay. I mean its bill is electrically sensitive to help it find food. It can detect small electrical currents that are emanated by the creatures it eats. It's also one of the only two mammals that lays eggs instead of giving birth to live young. In the fourth verse of the song, it uses the word abo. Now this verse was removed because it's considered offensive slang for Australian Aborigines. They didn't use this verse in later versions of the song, and Ralph was unhappy that he ever used it. And one other word that's mentioned in there is a musical instrument. Since we're a music show first and foremost, I thought I'd better mention it. The didgeridoo is a long, slightly conical wooden instrument used traditionally by the Aborigine people of northern Australia. It's the oldest wind instrument in the world, except for the ones Dante wrote about, and its origins may go back 40,000 years. Only one note can be played on it. It's called a drone. Overtones and vocal sounds from the person playing it give it a rich sound and countless textures. I brought mine in. I think I'll play a little for you now. That was one you could tell your kids about. Next up, Tex Ritter. He was born in Merville, Texas. Grew up on a ranch in Beaumont. Graduated at the top of his class. Majored in law at the University of Texas. And then got bitten by the acting bug. He moved to New York and was in the Broadway production of Green Grow the Lilacs. A Hollywood producer saw him in that show, where he also played guitar during the scene changes, and hired him to star in the 1936 Western Sign of the Gringo. Tex was off and running. He appeared in over 85 films and was the first country artist signed to Capitol Records. He hosted the Town Hall Party, a TV show that featured people like Johnny Cash, Wanda Jackson, the Collins Kids. He did it all. He's the voice of the animatronic bear, Big Al, at Disney World's Country Bear Jamboree. Here's Tex, no relation to Thelma Ritter, singing a traditional song called Froggy Went A-Courtin'.
Froggy went a-courtin' and he did right on. Froggy went a-courtin' and he did right, oh. Froggy went a-courtin' and he did right, holding a pistol by his side, Well, he went up to Mr. Mouse's door, and a hole in the hay, and a hole in the hay. Went up to Mr. Mouse's door. Went up to Mr. Mouse's door. She said, get away, you've been here before, He came in the land of Pharaoh. Come a rat-trap, penny, winkle, Tommy Doodle, rattle-bug, rat-trap, penny, won't you carry me, Took a Mr. Mousey on his knee, Took a Mr. Mousey on his knee, Took a Mr. Mousey on his knee. Well, he said, Miss Mousey, will you marry me, A little piece of cornbread lying on the shelf, and a hole in the hay, and a hole in the hay. Little piece of cornbread lying on the shelf, ha-ha. Little piece of cornbread lying on the shelf. You want any more, you can sing it yourself, ha-ha. Teeny time, oh, in the land of Pharaoh, come a rat trap, penny winkle, come a doodle rattle bugger, rat trap, penny, won't you carry me, oh? Kimbo, Kimbo, hero, Jiro, hey, come a rat trap, folly winkle, lolly bubble, rat trap, penny, won't you carry me, oh?
That was Tex Ritter and Foggy Winter Courtin'. It's an old song. They can track it back to at least 1549, where it was referred to as The Fog Came to My Door. Edward White registered it in 1580 under the title A Most Strange Wedding of the Fog and the Mouse. A version was first published with music in 1609. It's found under many different names: The Marriage of the Fog and the Mouse, Mr. Fogg Ran a Courtin', A Frog He Would Have Ruined Go, The Fog and the Mouse, and The Fog's Wedding Day. Originally, the song was a satire. Queen Elizabeth had a habit of referring to her ministers with animal nicknames. She called Sir Walter Raleigh her fish. The French ambassador Simier was her ape. Well, I can see that from Saint Simeon. And the Duc de Lion-Con was her frog. So this song wasn't just about marriage in the barnyard, but it was a scathing political satire. I didn't get that the first time I heard it.
Oh, let's take a trip to the farm. Our car's at the door. We'll call on the barnyard animals that you've heard about before.
Let's do a little boogie in the barnyard now. Here's Lee Jordan and the Barnyard Boogie.
Oink, oink. Moo, moo. Oink, oink, moo. Oink, oink, moo, moo. Quack, quack, said the duck, won't you let me in? Cluck, 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 said the little red hen, let's boogie in the barnyard. Baa, baa, said the sheep from another fold. Moo, moo, said the cow, let the butter roll. Cluck, 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 said the little red hen, let's boogie in the barnyard. Yes, the barnyard was jumping, everybody having their fling. Even old MacDonald had to do a little corny swing. Bow wow, said the dog in the circus, top me out, said the cat, now please don't stop. Cluck, 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 said the little red hen, let's boogie in the barnyard.
That was Louis Jordan from 1947 on the Decca recording label, and one of the few R&B records I know that has a steel guitar solo in it, the Barnyard Boogie.
After V comes W, and that's for the wolf. There used to be lots of wolves in the United States, but they only live in out-of-the-way places now, and they're not dangerous to people.
Yamagama Gumaluma. This is Pete Wolf, and you're listening to Bob Dylan and Theme Time Radio Hour.
We lost Waylon Jennings a while back, but he left behind a strong legacy of music. This one's from 1986, a song written by David Hidalgo and Louis Perez. Here's Waylon Jennings' version of Will the Wolf Survive?
In a land where he once stood with pride, but he'll find his way by the morning light. Coming from young hearts and minds, battered drums and old guitars, singing songs of passion. It's the truth that they all look for, something they must keep alive. Will the wolf survive? Will the wolf survive?
That was Waylon Jennings and Will the Wolf Survive? Well, will the wolf survive? Let's take the gray wolf, for example. They stand around 30 inches high at the shoulder and weigh between 70 and 115 pounds. It's in danger. It might go extinct. Between 1850 and 1900, more than 1 million of them were killed. But even with all the shooting and trapping, the main reason why there are so few today is because of poisoning. There is no known information on gray wolves attacking humans. They will occasionally take livestock, although occurrences are rare. They used to have the greatest distribution of any animal other than man throughout North America. And not just the wolf is in trouble. I could be here all night telling you about endangered species. I'll just tell you about one more. The Pinta Island tortoise. It's the rarest animal in the world. As far as we know, there's only one left. His name is Lonesome George, and he's the sole surviving member of the Pinta Island race. The giant tortoise is a symbol for the fragility of the Galapagos Islands. Matter of fact, the species was considered completely extinct until 1971 when they found Lonesome George. Ever since then, the Charles Darwin Research Station has been searching for a female, even posting a reward of $10,000. There's an old expression, I'm not fattening any more frogs for snakes. What that means is, if you are a frog farmer and you want to have the plumpest frogs on the marketplace and you're feeding them, the snakes come in and eat your frogs. You fatten them up for no reason. You know, like when you take a gal out for dinner and at the end of the night, she gives you a little peck on the cheek and then she calls me to come over. You know what you were doing, buddy? You were fattening frogs for snakes. Here's Sonny Boy Williamson putting his tale to music.
It took me a long time to find out my mistake. It took me a long time to find out my mistake. It sure did, man. But I bet you my bottom dollar I'm not fattening no more frog for snakes. Back in 1930, I started checking. I found out my downfall from 1930. I'm telling all of my friends I'm not fattening no more frog for snakes. All right now. I got to correct all of my mistakes. Well, man, 1957, I got to correct all of my mistakes. I'm telling my friends, including my wife and everybody else, not fattening no more frog for snakes.
That was Sonny Boy Williamson, and he's not fattening any more frogs for snakes. Here on Theme Time Radio Hour, we're talking about animals. Now, here's a couple of songs about farms in England. The first one up is Jollity Farm of 1929.
But of that I'll have none, because I know of one, it's always full of fun. They call this one Jollity, believe me folks it's great, for everything sings out to me as I go through the gate. All the little pigs they grunt and howl, the cats meow, the dogs bow wow, everybody makes some row down on Jollity Farm. All the little birds go tweet, 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 the lambs all bleat, shake their feet, everything's a perfect treat down on Jollity Farm. Regular in habit, the cock begins to crow, and the old buck rabbit says I'm a doddy-o-do. All the little ducks go quack, 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 the cows all moo, the bull does too, everyone says how do you do down on Jollity Farm. fox who stumbles, and roundabout he'll rush. But he only grumbles when they try bobbing his brush.
That was a song I won't soon forget. Jollity Farm. Here's a different kind of farm. A song written by Ray Davies, and it's on the album The Kinks Are the Village Green Preservation Society. This came out in 1968. Didn't make much of a splash in the United States. Part of the reason for that was that the Kinks were banned from coming into the United States after their tour in 1965. No one's quite sure what they did, but they weren't allowed back in the country for 4 years, and they lost a lot of their constituency here. It's a shame, because their records were as good as ever. Here they are with Animal Farm.
This world is big and wild and half insane. Take me where real animals are playing. Just a dirty old shack with a handlebar that we called our home. I wanna be back there among the cats and dogs and the pigs and the goats on Animal Farm, my animal home, on Animal Farm, my animal home. While I lay my head upon my pillow, little girl could play beneath my window. Though she's far from home, she's free from harm, and she need not fear. She's by my side, and the sky is wide. So let the sun shine bright on Animal Farm, my animal home, on Animal Farm, my animal home. Girl, it's a hard, hard world if it gets you down. Dreams often fade and die in a bad, bad world. I'll take you where real animals are playing, and people are real people, not just playing. It's a quiet, quiet life by a dirty old shack that we call our home. I wanna be back there among the cats and dogs and the pigs and the goats on Animal Farm, my animal home, on Animal Farm, my animal home, on Animal
That was Animal Farm by the Kinks. In 1936, George Orwell fought in the Spanish Civil War. It was there he saw propaganda and the perversion of history used as an instrument of war. He believed the unchecked distortion of truth would create far worse situations for mankind than any ideological war ever could. He considered power had become an end to itself. Real power had nothing to do with the future. It was all about controlling the past. The first of his great cries of despair was a book called Animal Farm. It was a satirical fable told through the eyes and minds of animals. The animals are happy on the farm, they make a bid for power, and it all falls apart. By the end of it, they become just as bad as the farmers who oppressed them. Some of the animals meet at the window of the farm, and they look at their representatives, negotiating with the humans. The creature outside looked from pig to man, and from man to pig, and from pig to man again. But already it was impossible to say which was which. Animal Farm, George Orwell. And that seems like a good place to stop right now, because I decided about 20 minutes ago that we gotta do 2 shows. I've been thinking about songs the whole time I've been doing it this week. When I made my list the first time, I didn't even have One Black Rat by Memphis Minnie on it. What was I thinking? You know, it was good enough for Noah to bring the animals up 2 by 2, and I think it's good enough for us here. We got plenty of animal songs left, and I want to skip anybody's favorite critter. So come on back next week as we continue sailing around on Noah's Ark. We'll probably find land by then anyway. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan. Produced by Eddie Gorodetsky, and the associate producer is Anita Fitzgerald. Continuity is by Eats Martin, and the editor is Damian Rodriguez. The supervising editor is Rob McCumber. The research team is Diane Lapson and Bernie Bernstein, with additional research courtesy of Lynn Sharon and April Hayes, Callie Glavin, Terrence Michael, Sean Patrick, and Matthew Meltzer. Robert Bauer was the librarian, and the production coordinator was Debbie Sweeney. Special thanks go out to Randy Ezrati, Coco Shinomiya, Simpsons Diner, and Lee Abrams. Tex Carbone was our director of studio operations. Recorded in Studio B of the historic Abernathy building. It's a Greywater Park production in association with Big Red Tree. This is your announcer, Pierre Mancini, speaking. Well, it looks like we got more critters than we do time, so make sure you come back next week when we take a second look at animals.
It's nighttime in the big city. A cop runs the license plate. I never tell the truth. It's Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan.
This way for the Wild Animal Show.
Welcome to Theme Time Radio Hour. I want to say a special hello to all people listening, and also to our four-legged friends, any fish, insects, or other creatures who might be near our radio. If you're listening last week, you know we were focusing on Noah's Ark and the animal inhabitants therein. Well, there are plenty of animals in the world, and no shortage of songs about them. So here we are again, ready to play more songs about more animals. So don't be a jackass. We're gonna go ape. I'm gonna take the bull by the horns, play a little cat and mouse, shoot some fish in a barrel. I'm going hog wild, cause I'm crazy like a fox, proud as a peacock. So unless you're ugly as a toad, I'm ready to talk turkey. There'll be no weaseling out, as we have as much fun as a barrel of monkeys.
I'm just wild about animal crackers, I can't live without animal crackers, bears and tigers haunt me all day. And whenever I am at a swell cafe, say all I order is animal crackers, firecrackers won't do. Goodness gracious, I'm no chump, I just bit off a camel's hump. Animal crackers, I love you. Don't miss the big sideshow.
One place you can see a lot of animals is at the zoo. And if you're a member of the Meters, if you go down there, you might think they're asking for you. The Meters recorded this song in 1976, and it's one of their best remembered numbers. So here's Ziggy Modalist, Art Neville, Leo Nocentelli, and George Porter Jr. They're going down to the zoo, and guess what? They all ask for you.
Hey, lava, crawfish and confetti. They all ask for you. I went on down to the Audubon Zoo, and they all asked for you. They all asked for you. For who? Well, they even inquired about you. I went on down to the Audubon Zoo, and they all asked for you. The monkey's ass, the tiger's ass, and the elephant asked me too. the big old sky, and they all ask for you. The duck's ass, the eagle's ass, and the buzzard's ass. Do it, do it. Hey, la, la. Hey, la, la. And the boat roulette. Fishing a little etouffee, bar willies and tomato paste. Do it! Put your hands together. I went on down to the deep blue sea, and they all asked for you. They all asked for you. Well, they even inquired about you. I went on down to the deep blue sea, and they all asked for you. The shark asked, the whale asked, and the barracuda asked it too. They all asked for you, and the all asked for you, and the all everybody there wanna know where they all asked for you. They all asked for you, and the all asked for you.
That was the Meters. They all asked for you. Here on Theme Time Radio Hour, and we're just knocking about the zoo. I don't know how I feel about zoos. I mean, for a lot of people, it's the only chance they're going to have to see a giraffe, or an elk, or a capybara. But the animal rights activists think that zoos are bad. They say they're like prisons for animals, being held against their will in a confined space, away from others of their own type and their own environment. And what have they done? Sound like they stole a car or something. They say it's not even educational. They say when you see an animal in the zoo, it's only a shell of the animal. The full wild nature of the animal muted by its locked up status. I mean, I always liked seeing the animals. Now I feel guilty. Coming up next, a wild, wild record on the specialty record label from a man by the name of Roddy Jackson. It's one of my 3 favorite songs about Nice. It's called Loose on the Loose.
Well, I went to a party the other night, and all at once I got a fright. I heard a crash and I ran outside. I took one look and I almost died. Then someone shouted, "Save your skin! The whole darn zoo is a coming in." There's a moose on the loose. There's a bear on the chair. Well, there's a monk on the bone. There's a deer in the beer. If you think I was scared, no, not me. I climbed a tree. He climbed a tree. Oh, well, everyone began to run. Someone yelled, "Go get a gun!" An elephant broke right through the wall, and soon the rope began to fall. And then I heard a lion roar, and someone screaming at the door. There's a moose on the loose. Yes, and there's a bear on the chair. Well, there's a monk on the bone. There's a deer in the beer. If you think I was scared, no, not me. I climbed a tree. He climbed a tree. Some guy was hanging from a chandelier, and man was he shook up with fear. A car drove up filled with police, and soon got we disturbed the peace. And then the judge asked, "What do you say?" I said, "Your Honor, is this way." There's a moose on the loose. Yes, and there's a bear on the chair. And it's Gee, there's a monk on the bunk. Your Honor, there's a deer in the beer. If you think I was scared, no, not me. I climbed the tree. He climbed a tree.
That was Roddy Jackson with Moose on the Loose. Now, Roddy Jackson and his song about a moose should not be confused with Bull Moose Jackson, the King Records recording artist who recorded Big 10-inch record, and also Elephant Taylor, who was a rival of Joseph Smith when Smith was starting his religion back in the 1800s. Many people confuse Elephant Taylor with noted jazz singer Elephant Joe, but we'll be clearing up all of these mysteries, including stories about Red Fox, Bobby Bear, the famous stand-up comic Gary Mule Deer, Richard Rabbit Brown, Eddie Rabbit, and world-famous poker champion Armadillo Slim.
Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the Tumtum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes aflame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumping back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, Callooh, Callay, he chortled in his joy.
Grace Slick wrote this next song for her original group, The Great Society, but she took it with her when she joined the Jefferson Airplane. No, it's not Somebody to Love. Her husband Darby wrote that. This one's called White Rabbit. She says she was inspired by hours and hours of listening to Miles Davis's Sketches of Spain. I'm going to have to listen closely and see if I can hear that in here. Grace said that she wrote this song to combine her favorite childhood fantasies and compare them to the drug journeys being taken up on Haight-Ashbury. Grace believed that telling children's stories like Alice in Wonderland with its mushrooms, The Wizard of Oz with its field of poppies, and Peter Pan, where characters can fly with a little pixie dust, would naturally lead the young adults to experiment with drugs. As she put it, you wonder why we do it? Well, what did you read to me? Here's the result. White Rabbit.
One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall. And if you go chasing rabbits and you know you're going to fall, tell 'em a hookah smoking caterpillar has given you the call. Call Alice when she was just small. When the men on the chessboard get up and tell you where to go, and you just had some kind of mushroom, and your mind is moving on. Go ask Alice, I think she'll know. When logic and proportion have fallen slowly dead, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen's on her head, remember what the Dormouse
That was Grace Slick telling us to feed our heads. That's not a direct quotation from the Dormouse, by the way. Another famous rabbit could only be seen by Jimmy Stewart. His name was Harvey, and he was the imaginary 6'8" rabbit that was a figment of Elwood P. Dowd's mind. Elwood was played by Jimmy, and his society-minded sister tried to put him away in a mental institution. He loved Harvey, though. Finally, he was given a choice whether or not to take a shot of medicine that would keep him from ever seeing the giant rabbit again. He wouldn't take the medicine. He decided he would rather have an individual quirk that makes him happy over a life of conformity and normalcy. Another blow struck for the nonconformist. We've talked about Leroy Carr and how he was an urban bluesman, benefited greatly from the development of the microphone. He and his partner Scrapper Blackwell performed both sad, quiet blues and energetic, humorous songs. This one's more in the second camp. It's from the early 30s, and it's called Carried Water for the Elephant.
Circus came to town, to the circus I went. Didn't have a ticket, didn't have a cent. Circus man said to see the show without a cent, you got to carry water for the elephant. I carried water for the elephant, back and forth to the well I went. Arms got sore and my back got bent, but I couldn't fill up the elephant. I says to the man with a standing up collar, bet for a bit that elephant's a holler. He gave me a ticket, says first you'll see the animals in the menagerie. First I saw a lion and the lion he roared. Arroo! Saw the wild duck and the wild duck quacked. Quack, quack, quack. Saw the wild cat and the wild cat meowed. Meow, meow. Saw the old crow and the old crow called. Saw Mr. Possum sitting on a limb, big black bear sitting next to him. Saw the old monkey like in a zoo, and a wild rooster says cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo. Saw the hippopotamus splash in the water, trying to flirt with a crocodile's daughter. Saw the giraffe and a big kangaroo. Saw an owl holler, hoo, hoo, hoo. Saw the wild birds and the birds sing sweet. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Saw the wild dogs and the wild dogs bark. Ow, ow, ow. Saw the cuckoo and the cuckoo cooed. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Saw the hyena and the hyena laughed. I went down to the circus tent, sure am doggone glad I went. Saw the whole show didn't cost a cent, cost a cat water for the elephant.
Leroy Carr, along with Scrapper Blackwell. Leroy knew what he was singing about. One of the odd jobs he had was in a circus. He was also a bootlegger. Served time in prison in 1925 for bootlegging, but I don't know if he wrote any songs about that. This is Theme Time Radio Hour, and we believe the same thing Thornton Wilder did. The best thing about animals is they don't talk much. Voltaire was an animal lover, and he cited these advantages. They never hear the clock tick. They die without any idea of death. Their last moments are not disturbed by unwelcome and unpleasant ceremonies. Their funerals cost them nothing, and no one starts lawsuits over their wills. Walt Whitman had a very similar idea in mind when he said, I think I can turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. No one is dissatisfied. Not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. Walt Whitman, Poet Unleashed. Entertainment history is full of stories about educated animals. On his 1972 album, Sail Away, Randy Newman wrote about one of these acts. Here he is, telling you all about Simon Smith and the Amazing Dancing Bear.
I may go out tomorrow if I can borrow a coat to wear. Oh, I step out in style with my sincere smile and my dancing bear, outrageous, alarming, courageous, charming. Oh, who would think a boy and bear could be well accepted everywhere? It's just amazing how fair people can be. Seen at the nicest places where well-fed faces all stop to stare, making the grandest entrance is Simon Smith in his dancing bear. They'll love us, won't they? They feed us, don't they? Oh, who would think a boy and bear could be well accepted everywhere? It's just amazing how fair people can be. When you're funny, big attraction everywhere will be Simon Smith and his dancing bear. Is Simon Smith and the Amazing Dancing Bear.
That was Simon Smith and the Amazing Dancing Bear. You know, animals of all types appeared in vaudeville. Horses, pigs, cats, dogs, bears, elephants, monkeys, and birds. Some of the most famous vaudeville acts included Laura Comstock's Bag Punching Dog, Professor Leonardo's Troop of Cats and Dogs, and Dumbo the Trained Elephant. Theater owners loved these animal acts. They were called dumb acts, and they'd be put either first or last on the bill. This allowed the theater owner to start the show or end the show while the people were either coming in or going out. This way, noise from the audience talking and looking for their seats wouldn't destroy the act. I ran into Ricky Zay at Target and I asked him about animal acts. He told me about a wild one. I'm not even going to tell you what kind of animals used because they'll let them surprise you.
Well, Bob, when you speak about learned animals, I think most people's imagination goes to dogs or horses or pigs, but it's interesting that even insects have been trained in some famous acts. Wildman's bees. He was a circus rider who rode around the rink with 5 swarms of bees surrounding his face, and on a given command, they would separate so he could drink from a glass of wine. Bob, I know you were a fan of Hubert's Museum on 42nd Street, where Professor Roy G. Heckler had his famous trained flea circus. He had 13 fleas. That was 3 principals and 10 understudies, and they would perform 4 separate acts. Since the 16th century, there have been instances of men capturing fleas and making them do their bidding. It's said that over the years, fleas have been exhibiting rationality sufficient to ride a toboggan, impersonate Napoleon, or reenact the siege of Antwerp.
Thanks a lot, Ricky. That's insane. Charlie Waller was in a group with Buzz Busby called the Bayou Boys. The Bayou Boys were in a terrible car accident in 1957. Charlie Waller put together a new group. That band evolved and became the Country Gentlemen. Charlie on guitar and singing, along with mandolin player John Duffy, banjo player Bill Emerson, and Tom Morgan on the bass. Here they are, from 1970, singing about the fox on the run.
She walks through the corn leading down to the river. Her hair shone like gold in the hot morning sun. She took all the love that a poor boy could give her and left me to die like a fox on the run. like a fox on the run. We'll pour a glass of wine, pour the fire soul. We'll talk about the world and friends we used to know. I see a stream of girls who put me on the floor. Game is nearly over, the hounds are at my door. She walks through the corn leading down to the river. Her hair shone like gold in the hot morning sun. She took all the love that a poor boy could give her and left me to die like a fox on the run. Like a fox, like a fox, like a fox on the run.
That was Fox on the Run, the Country Gentleman. Fox hunting has been around for over 300 years. The training of hounds to hunt foxes came about after the restoration of King Charles II in 1660. The huntsman would cry, "Tayo," back in the days of stag hunting. This was anglicized to tally-ho, a phrase you often hear in fox hunts. By the mid-1700s, Whigs began to caricature the country gentry as ill-educated buffoons whose sole occupation was fox hunting. Farmers didn't mind it though, as the hunters gave them a method of getting rid of an animal that they saw as a pest. People who hate fox hunting say that using dogs to hunt them is cruel and unnecessary. And finally in 2005, an act of parliament made it illegal to use dogs for fox hunting.
S is for sea lion. Let's listen to his bark.
This is Theme Time Radio Hour, tripping through the various phylum and finding songs wherever we look. For example, Nina Simone is going to tell us all about the sea lion woman.
All right. Sea lion woman, she drink coffee, she drink tea, and then go home. Sea lion woman, dressed in green, wear silk stockings with golden seams. Sea lion woman, dressed in red, make a man lose his head. Sea lion woman, black dress on for $1,000. She wail and she moans. Sea lion woman, wiggle her like a cat, wink at a man and he wink back. Now child, sea lion woman, empty his pockets and wreck his days, make him love her and shoot my way. And she wreck his days, and she make him love her, and she shoot fly away. She got a black dress on for $1,000. She wail and she.
There she was, young, gifted, and black, Nina Simone, sea lion woman. Here's another strong-willed woman, and I mean that in the best possible way. Here's a song by Joni Mitchell from an album she did with a title that's the Arabic word "Flight from a Dream." The word is Hashira. This song, Coyote, was one of the favorites from it. Here's Joni Mitchell, and she's singing about a coyote, maybe of the two-legged variety.
No regrets, Coyote. We just come from such different sets of circumstance. I'm up all night in the studios and you're up early on your ranch. You'll be brushing out a broodmare's tail while the sun is ascending, and I'll just be getting home with my reel-to-reel. Just look comprehending just how close to the bone and the skin and the eyes and the lips you can get, and still feel so alone, and still feel related, like stations in some relay. You're not a hit-and-run driver, no, no, racing away. You just picked up a hitcher, prisoner around the white lines on the freeway. Saw a farmhouse burning down in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night. We rolled right past that tragedy till we turned into some roadhouse lights where a local band was playing. Locals were up kicking and shaking on the floor. The next thing I know, that coyote's at my door. He pins me in a corner, he won't take no. He drags me out on the dance floor and we're dancing close and slow. Now he's got a woman at home, he's got another woman down the hall. He seems to want me anyway. Why'd you have to get so drunk and leave me on that way? You just picked up a hitcher, a prisoner out the white lines on the freeway. Right in the face on the road to Baljenny near my old hometown. He went running through the whisker weed, chasing some prize down, and a hawk was playing with him. Coyote was jumping straight up and making passes, and those same eyes just like yours under your dark glasses, privately probing the public rooms, peeking through keyholes in numbered doors, where the players lick their wounds and take their temporary lovers and their pills and powders to get them through this passion play. No regrets, Coyote, I just get off a programs. You just pick up a hitcher, a prisoner on the white lines on the freeway. Coffee shop, he's staring a hole in his scrambled eggs. He picks up my scent on his fingers while he's watching the waitress's legs. He's too far from the Bay of Fundy, from Appaloosas and eagles and tides, and the air-conditioned cubicles and the carbon ribbon rides are spelling it out so clear. Either he's gonna have to stand and fight or take off out of here. I tried to run away myself, to run away and wrestle with my ego. This flame you put here in this Eskimo, in this hitcher, in this prisoner of the fine white lines, of the white lines on the free.
Joni Mitchell, Coyote, an animal related to the dog and found in all parts of the United States, except for Hawaii. They're a very vocal animal, uses a long howl to let other members of the pack know where it is. It uses short barks to warn of danger. They also growl when establishing dominance, whine and whimper when they are establishing bonds. They produce high-pitched barks to summon puppies, and sometimes late at night, when they're all relaxing, they sing Joni Mitchell songs. A little while ago, Levi Carr mentioned a possum in his song about bringing water to the elephants. Well, I like possums. I think they deserve their own song, so I'm gonna play one for you. It's sung by Johnny Ferdinand Mercer, but he didn't write it. It was written by W. Dunham and T. Shan. It seems odd. I only know the first initials of the writers, but I even know Johnny's middle name. No telling from what you remember. Here's Johnny Mercer and the Possum Song.
Six tall, slim, slick, sycamore sapling, possum up a tree. Somewhere up in one of those saplings, possum laughing at me. Hound dog baying, know what he's saying, possum on a limb. He done hidden one of them saplings, I'll get even with him. Get a going feet, gotta run, get my gun, beat it over yonder to the holler. Moon is shining bright on the treetops tonight, possum ain't far, the six tall, slim, slick, sycamore sapling, possum on the loose. He's been stealing all of my chickens, now I'll cook his goose. Possum knows he's in a jam, he'd go good with candied yams. Doggone tootin', sure as I'm shootin', possum falling for me. Possum, you steal one more of my Plymouth Rocks, we gonna have two possums in every pot. You hear me? Six tall, slim, slick, sycamore saplings, possum up a tree. Somewhere up in one of those saplings, possum's laughing at me. Hound dog baying, know what he's saying, possum on a limb. He done hidden one of those saplings, I'll get even with him. Get a going feet, gotta run, get my gun, beat it over yonder to the holler. Moon is shining bright on the treetops tonight, possum ain't far, the six tall, slim, slick, sycamore sapling, possum on the loose. He's been stealing all of my chickens, now I'll cook his goose. Possum knows he's in a jam, he'd go good with a candied yam. Doggone tootin', sure as I'm shootin', possum is falling for me.
That was the Possum Song by Johnny Mercer. Possums are the only marsupial, that means a mammal with a pouch, that is found in the United States and Canada. They're excellent tree climbers and spend most of their time up in the air. They have sharp claws, which can dig into the bark, and they have a prehensile, gripping tail. They can use that like an extra limb. And we all know the expression playing possum, meaning pretending you're dead. Also, the famed country singer George Jones had the nickname of Possum, not because he played dead, but because he kind of looked like one. This is Theme Time Radio Hour, your home for barking dreams, roaring themes, and slithering schemes. Climb aboard Noah's Ark with us. It's a musical menagerie, animalistically speaking, where animals are king. Man is sprung from animals. The problem is, some of us have not sprung far enough. There's a song that tells us that story by Toots and the Maytals. We're going to tell you all about the Monkey Man.
monkey man. I seen a sign of you, I only heard of you. Hugging up the big monkey man. He's not live, he's not live. Them a tell me, hugging up the big monkey man. He's not live, he's not live. Them a tell me, hugging up the big monkey man. Now I know that, now I understand. You're turning a monkey on me. Now I know that, now I understand. You're turning a monkey on me. I, tell your baby hugging up the big monkey man. I, tell your baby hugging up the big monkey man. I seen a sign of you, I only hear that you hugging up the big monkey man. I've seen a sign of you, I only hear that you hugging up the big monkey man. He's not lying, he's not lying. Them a tell me hugging up the big monkey man. He's not lying, he's not lying. Them a tell me hugging up the big monkey man. Now I know that, now I understand. You're turning a monkey on me. Now I know that, now I understand. You're turning a monkey on me. See you, baby, hugging up that big monkey man. Tell your baby, hugging up that big monkey man. I see no sign of you, I only hear that you hugging up that big monkey man. I see no sign of you, I only heard that you hugging up that big monkey man. He's not lying, he's not lying. Tell your baby, hugging up that big monkey man.
That was Toots and the Maytals, Monkey Man. I think that might have been produced by the Chinese Jamaican producer Leslie Kahn. Chinese Jamaican, that'd be a good kind of food. Get myself some General Tso's jerk chicken. Monkeys have been very helpful through history, perhaps none more helpful as helping hands. The Monkey Helpers for the Disabled. This is a national non-profit organization. It serves quadriplegics and other people with severe spinal cord injuries. They give these people highly trained monkeys to assist with daily activities. It takes years of training to train a monkey to do a multitude of tasks, and the tasks sometimes change. For example, monkeys recently had to be taught how to turn on and load computers and CD players, while they were able to stop teaching them how to place a record on a turntable. These monkeys are amazingly smart and amazingly loyal. Hats off to the people at Helping Hands for bringing monkeys into these people's lives.
If they push that button,
If they push that button,
kiss your ass.
kiss your ass.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, goodbye,
Kiss your
goodbye.
ass.
Kiss your ass.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
They talking about
They talking about
nuclear war.
nuclear war.
Talking about
Talking about
The 50s were a scary time. The threat of atomic bombs hung over everyone's head. People dealt with it in unusual ways. In 1951, civil defense pamphlets said that atomic blasts create fires, and they advised a clean building seldom burns. People actually believed that keeping a tidy home would protect them from atomic devastation. At school, kids were told to duck and cover, as if hiding under your desk could save you. To be fair, no one really knew about nuclear fallout at that point. It wasn't until 1954, when they did tests at the Marshall Islands, that they saw how bad radiation sickness could be. But even after they knew, they kept the duck and cover propaganda going. They thought it kept the country focused, afraid, and alert. that downplayed the real horror of a nuclear war, allowing people to think that such a thing could actually be won. And that's when three songwriters, two Leos and a Leon, Leon Carr, Leo Corday, and Leo Langlois, stepped in. They wrote a song called Duck and Cover. It was used in an educational film with a turtle by the name of Bert, who was trying to protect himself from a monkey with firecrackers. The music was arranged and sung by Dave Lambert, who later went on to be part of Lambert, Hendrix, and Ross. But the song had a life of its own and was recorded a few times. The version we're going to play came out as a kid's 78 from our Chicago children's show host named Dick Two-Ton Baker. Here he is on the Carl record label, 1953, and a warning to all you children, if you think an atomic bomb is coming, just duck and cover.
There was a turtle by the name of Bert, and Bert the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He'd duck and cover, duck and cover. He'd hide his head and tail and 4 little feet. He'd duck and cover. He hid beneath his little shell until the coast was clear. Then one by one his head and tail and legs would reappear. By acting calm and cool he proved he was a hero too. For finding safety is the bravest, wisest thing to do. And now his little friends are just like Bert, and every turtle is very alert. When danger threatens them, they never get hurt. They know just what to do. They duck and cover, duck and cover. They hide their heads and tails and 4 little feet. They duck and cover. He hid beneath his little shell until the coast was clear. Then one by one his head and tail and legs would reappear. By acting calm and cool he proved he was a hero too. For finding safety is the bravest, wisest thing to do. And now his little friends are just like Bert, and every turtle is very alert. When danger threatens them, they never get hurt. They know just what to do. They duck and cover, duck and cover. They hide their heads and tails and 4 little feet. They duck and cover. They duck, 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 duck and cover.
That was Dick Two-Ton Baker and a very sick song, Duck and Cover, from a very sick time. Now, of course, we know that ducking and covering won't help you unless you're wearing a hat made out of tinfoil. Roaches have been around for 300 million years, and they have a great reputation as being the only probable survivors of a nuclear war. Obviously, they know how to duck and cover, but in truth, they're only a little bit better at surviving radiation than we are. There's a lot of other insects who will do a lot better, but I guess the cockroaches have a good press agent. Next up, the Blues Rockers and Calling Out Cows, one of the few records that features a tuned cow, and it also mentions margarine. Come on up to the barn, boys.
Calling all cows down on the farm. Calling all cows up to the barn. I moved this morning just before day. You better come and get it, we got to give it away. We're gonna give a little milk and give a little cream. We got the best you has ever seen. Calling all cows down on the farm. Calling all cows up to the barn. We're gonna give a little buddy a little margarine. And when you get it, I know that you'll be pleased. We're going down to the path into the woods. We're gonna get a little something that's mighty good. and my mama say, you better stop her before she give it all away. If you want a good steak, come and go with me. I know a place to get the best that you has ever seen. Calling all cows down on the farm. Calling all cows up to the barn. When you hear this song, don't be mad at me. I'm just talking about a little milk and cream. Just talking about a little milk and cream. I'm just talking about a little milk and cream.
Margarine. I guess that's a variation on the name Margie. Those are the Blues Rockers on Excello Records, a song written by Early Drain, and they're calling all the cows. Temple Grandin would not be able to call the cows, but she sure could understand them. She was born in Boston, Massachusetts. She's an associate professor at Colorado State. Got her BA from Franklin Pierce College. She got a PhD in animal science at Arizona State. She was also autistic, perhaps the highest functioning autistic person in history. She didn't talk until she was 3.5. She communicated her frustration by screaming, peeping, and humming. They thought she had brain damage, and she needed to be institutionalized. In 1950, she was diagnosed as autistic, and as an adult, it was recognized that she had Asperger's syndrome, a high-functioning form of autism. She used to attack people. She would panic if people tried to touch her, rearing back like a wild animal. She realized that her actions mirrored those of horses and cattle. This insight gave her a special window into those animals' psychology. She was visiting her relative's cattle ranch in Colorado, and she saw the cowboys herding the animals into something called a squeeze chute, the chute that had wooden walls and would clamp around the cow so they could give it a vaccination. As she watched this strange machine, Temple Grandin realized that she'd been craving intense pressure like this her whole life. She built a squeeze chute for herself. It helped her relax and stopped her from feeling afraid. Oliver Sacks called it a hugging machine in a profile he wrote of her. She went on to design a number of systems using her unique insight that used behavioral principles instead of brute force or fear to handle livestock. She improved squeeze chutes and restraint systems. Her breakthroughs in design have made slaughterhouses much more humane, and she's been recognized by farm owners and animal rights specialists as being instrumental in helping the animals. Temple Grandin, from Asperger to Hamburger. Last week I mentioned Memphis Minnie, and I said I had to play one black rat, and I do. Here's Minnie and a tale of one black rat.
Yes, you is one black rat. Someday I'll find your trail. Yes, you is one black rat. Someday I'll find your trail. Then I'll hide my shoes somewhere near your shirt tail. Yes, I've taken you downtown, paid your doctor bill. Now I'm in a little trouble, and you're trying to get me killed. Yes, you is one black rat. Someday I'll find your trail. Then I'll hide my shoes somewhere near your church tail. There's these snakes in my kitchen, eat up all the bread. Soon as I left home, started cutting up in my bed. Yes, he is one black rat. Someday I'll find his trail. Then I'll hide my shoes somewhere near his shirt tail. Yes, beat it out. monkey. I will catch him someday soon. Yes, he is one black rat. Someday I'll find his trail. Then I'll hide my shoes somewhere near his church tail.
That was Memphis Minnie, and You Is One Black Rat. It's a song that always makes me think of James Cagney and You Dirty Rat. Well, this is Theme Time Radio Hour, and it's been our Noah's Ark show, and I know we've already done a show about birds, but I think I gotta end with this song anyway. It's sung by a guy named Ferlin Husky, and every time I play Ferlin, I'll tell you about why he changed his name. Ferlin recorded under his own name, and also developed a comic alter ego named Simon Crumb, but there's no comedy in this song. It's all about a snow white dove, and if you're doing a show about Noah's Ark, you better end with a dove. Here's Ferlin Husky on the wings of a snow white dove.
On the wings of a snow white dove, he sends his pure, sweet love, a sign from above. On the wings of a dove, when troubles surround us, when evils come, the body grows weak. The spirit grows numb. When these things beset us, he doesn't forget us. He sends down his love on the wings of a dove. On the wings of a snow white dove, he sends his pure, sweet love, a sign from above. On the wings of a dove. When Noah had drifted on the flood many days, he searched for land. In various ways. Troubles he had some, but wasn't forgotten. He sent him his love on the wings of a dove. On the wings of a snow white dove, he sent his pure, sweet love, a sign from above. On the wings of a dove. On the wings of a snow white dove, he sent his pure, sweet love, a sign from above. On the wings of a dove. On the wings of a dove. On the wings of a dove.
That was Ferlin Husky on the wings of a snow white dove. Noah released the dove from a window in the ark 3 separate times to see if the water had receded enough for Noah and his family to leave the ark. The 3rd time, the dove returned, carrying an olive branch. It was time to repopulate the world.
There seems little room for argument. The animals we have worked into our civilization, they are necessary to that civilization, from both the economic and social points of view. We could no more do without them than we could do without our machines.
We gotta get going now. Since we've been talking about animals, there's one guy we really didn't talk about much. His name was Aesop, and he wrote a series of stories, or fables, all about animals. Each of these fables contained a lesson. They all make good sense, and I want to leave you with one of them. This is the story of the 4 oxen and the lion. A lion used to prowl about a field in which 4 oxen used to dwell. Many a time he tried to attack them, but whenever he came near, they turned their tails to one another, so that whichever way he approached them, he was met by the horns of one of them. At last, however, they fell a-quarreling amongst themselves. Each went off to a pasture alone in a separate corner of the field. Then the lion attacked them one by one, and soon made an end of all 4. There's a lesson to be learned in that. United we stand, divided we fall.
United we stand, divided we fall. And if our backs should ever be against the wall, we'll be together, you and I.
There's been a lot of of fun playing animal songs for you, and I gotta go away for a while, but don't think of it as being divided. I'll be back next week. I still consider us all united. I've got your back, and I will be back in 7 short days. I'll see you then. Thanks for listening, and be kind to your 4-footed friends.
You've been listening to Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan. It's produced by Eddie Gorodetsky, and the associate producer is Anita Washington. The continuity is courtesy of Eats Martin, and the editor is Damian Rodriguez. Supervising editor is Rob McCullough. The research team is Diane Lapson and Bernie Bernstein. Additional research is courtesy of Lynn Sheridan, Kimberly Williams, Robert Bauer, April Hayes, Callie Gladden, Terry Michael, Sean Patrick, and Lynn Sheridan. As always, our librarian is Robert Bauer. The production coordinator is Debbie Sweeney, and special thanks go out to Ray Diaz, Roddy Coco, Shinomiya, Lee Abrams, and the gang down at Samson's Diner. The studio engineer is Tex Carbone. This program was recorded in Studio B of the historic Abernathy Building. 8 stories, each one an adventure. This has been a Grey Water Park production in association with Big Red Tree. This is your announcer, Pierre Mancini, speaking. Join us all again next week for our big clearance sale.
Duck and cover